as we have during the regular season. Assuming a 7:30 kickoff, NFL preview would begin at or shortly before 7 o'clock. Bundy Fulmer teeing the ball up on the 40-yard line to our right. Franklin's coverage team getting into position. Oil City with two deep men, Osterman and Harry. Fulmer, the left-footed kicker, kicking it to his right side. It's taken in by a short man and returned through a hole across the 30-yard line and up across the 35 to the 37-yard line. And the return man, Brian Britton, setting up Oil City quite well here as we move into the late stages of the second quarter.
Well, that was a high kick by Bundy going to about somewhere between the 20 and 15-yard line. And Britton almost breaking through there. He did what you're supposed to do, get right up the middle as fast as you can. Good run back.
1st and 10, mark the ball at the 37. Oil City with Kaminsky handing back directly behind him to Brian Harry. Harry down at the 40, drops the ball, and Franklin's going to get it back. A late call, and actually a late fumble of the ball, and it wouldn't have surprised me to rule him already down.
Well, Tim, he wasn't down. I saw he got hit as he was lunging forward, and I did not see the ball pop up, but I did see about 2 Oilers and 2 Franklin Knights go in the direction that the ball went, and it rolled right to a Franklin Knight player. I'm not sure who recovered it, but a big break for Franklin here, getting the ball on the 40-yard line.
Well, the momentum has shifted, apparently. Now, both teams have fumbled the ball away once. Oil City's first scoring drive came up a foot short as they were called back for a couple of penalties. Did get a couple of touchdowns on the board in short notice. Franklin with a chance to go ahead here. Stevens passing. Looks to have a receiver inside the 30. There is a flag down behind the Franklin quarterback, Freddie Stevens.
Well, they're calling motion again, and I believe what it is, you know, the old rule used to be you're allowed 1 yard forward. Well, Franklin had that. That was Andy Shalott from the I formation going in motion, and he went up and tapped Freddie on the butt, and then they threw the flag. Now, I don't know what the rule is, but you know, in the past, I always thought you had, you know, your 1 yard or so, and then you towards the line of scrimmage, and then you had to go laterally or backwards. So, again, the first play, Franklin hurting themselves. It's 1st and 15. There's 4 minutes and 31 seconds left here in the second quarter. They don't want to do anything, you know, dumb here. They want to maybe run out the clock a little bit, try to get some, you know, score as they run out the clock here.
The penalty negates an 11 or 12-yard completion to Dave Smith. Walker split wide to the left side with Saunders and Washington in the backfield. Stevens completing a pass across the 40 to...
I believe that was Rob Graham.
I think Rob Graham, yes, out of bounds outside the 35-yard line, and they may mark him across the 35 for a pickup of close to 11 yards on the reception. Timeout is going to be assessed, and it appears as if it'll go against the Oil City Oilers, stopping the clock with 4:13 left until halftime.
Well, Oil City, now the momentum has switched a little bit, and Oil City calling a timeout to go out there and try to settle their squad down. Franklin moving the ball since the last drive there on a mixture of pass and run, and Oil City's not quite sure what Franklin's going to do, so they're calling a timeout.
Coming up on Sunday night, courtesy of CBS Football, the Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots. Their time will be 7:45 on 1450 WFRA. Monday night, it's the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota, 8:45. Pre-game, catch all the action here on Venango County Sports Leader, 1450 WFRA. At the conclusion of this game, Larry Grill and I will announce the winner of the Franklin Park Player of the Game for the Franklin Knights. The team we've been following through the 1996 season. Bundy Fulmer was last week's Franklin Park Player of the Game. Well, they will mark the ball at the 36-yard line, so that was a 9-yard gain on the reception by Rob Graham. It is second down and about 6 yards to go. Stevens rolling, Stevens running across the 35, diving for a couple of more on the gain of about 3 yards on the keeper. 12-7 in favor of the Oil City Oilers. Franklin trying to put together a drive after recovering an Oil City fumble. They got the ball at the 40-yard line of the Oilers. The penalty put them back by 5. Now they've gained to the 33. Need to go across the 30 for the first down, so it's 3rd and 3.
And it's probably a 4-down situation here, as Rob Graham is splitting out to the right, and Bundy Fulmer is in a wing position to the right also.
Saunders and Washington, the setbacks behind Stevens. And Stevens will pitch to Clinton Washington, the junior. Washington trying to find a hole, muscling his way toward the 30. If he's across it to Franklin first down, he appears to have it. And we'll see in just a minute if they move the stake.
Well, I think they're marking it on the 29-yard line, Tim, so it will be a first down.
Pick up of 4 yards by Clinton Washington, a 5'8", 200-pound junior who ran for the game's, or Franklin's only touchdown in the win over Meadville last week, his 3rd score on the ground this year.
Well, that was basically the same play they've been running with Scooter Bacher and Rob Sanders, but this time they had 2 backs back there. Saunders went out and blocked, and then Washington cutting it up in for the first down.
1st and 10, Franklin from the Oil City 29-yard line. Andy Shalott in motion to the right side. He's out near the sideline. By the time he gets there, a rush. Stevens getting the pass away in the end zone.
Knocked down.
Knocked down, nearly intercepted. Ben Carnish, who has 4 picks this year, nearly took that ball away, but it's incompletion, and we bring the ball back to the 29. Stevens was getting a big rush. He was hit just after he let it go, and I think that made the ball go higher in the air with that higher arc, more like a pop-up. It was up for grabs, but just knocked down.
Well, Tim, the whole way the ball was in the air, it looked like it was going to be a touchdown for Franklin, as Andy Shalott was right there. But Carnish coming over from his safety position, making a good play on the ball. I thought at first he might have intercepted it, but he just knocked it down.
Scott Kaminsky leads the Northwest Football Conference with 8 interceptions. Carnish has 4, a dangerous defensive secondary. Clinton Washington gets the call for Franklin, picking up some good territory across the 25-yard line. Forced out of bounds at about the 23, a pickup of 6 for Clinton, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, Clinton did a good job, and the line did a good job. They pushed the left side of the Oil City defense back, and then Clinton with the extra yardage just plowing his way with about 3 Oilers holding on to him. Again, it's 3rd and about 3.5. I look for 2 more plays, go for it on 4th down.
Because Washington went out of bounds, the clock is stopped with 2:46 left until halftime. Stevens looking down his line, calling the play. Shalott's in motion to the right side. Stevens is rolling back. Stevens has Bundy Fulmer inside the 20. It's a completed pass and very close to a first down. Fulmer knocked back across the 20. It'll be 3rd down in short yardage, or we'll move the markers.
Well, it's pretty close to where they were, just on the other side. Well, now looking at it, I don't think it's going to be a first down. It's closer to the 20-yard line than it is the 19. They are measuring, but it was basically the same play that they ran 2 plays ago. Andy Shalott going down to the end zone, but this time Freddie half rolling to the right, throwing back to Bundy. A good strong throw, and Franklin signaling first down.
Not a favorable spot for the Knights, but it was spotted far enough that Franklin does pick up a 1st and 10 from just inside the 20. And that was a 4-yard pass completion to Bundy Fulmer, his 2nd reception of the game and his 5th of the season.
Well, this is another situation where if they have another play off of that outside run, they might want to try something here.
Bacher split to the left side. Rob Graham flanked to the right. Washington and Saunders behind Stevens. Graham in motion to the right side. The handoff is to Washington, fighting for the 15-yard line. Short pickup for Clinton Washington of 3 to 4 yards as Franklin keeps driving. The clock keeps moving right now. Under 2 minutes left now until halftime.
Well, clock shouldn't be a factor. There's 1:50 left, and I believe Franklin has 2 timeouts left. Oil City 1, and the clock is stopped as an Oil City Oiler, again down on the ground right where the contact was made.
It's a 12-7 lead for the Oil City Oilers as Franklin is driving. They're at the Oil City 16-yard line now after about a 3.5-yard pickup from Clinton Washington. Here in the 2nd quarter, Franklin is using him quite extensively. That's David Winger getting up and apparently okay. Winger, one of the inside linebackers, also the starting fullback offensively for the Oilers. He comes back off to the sideline, and we'll try to pick up the replacement number for you if we can. Haven't yet quite spotted. Looks like Josh Knight has come in there to replace Winger. Knight, the junior. Second down, a long 6 for Franklin from Oil City's 16-yard line. Shalott in motion to the right side as Stevens takes the snap from Lynch, takes the handoff and is fighting through a hole at right tackle himself. Picks up very little yardage on the play, but might have a yard on it. It'll be third down. And 5 or 6 yards to go for a first down for the Knights. They trail by 5. They have a good kicker in Bundy Fulmer. He's only had 2 field goal attempts this year, however. And right now, Franklin would like to pick up that first down to take the lead before halftime. And it looks like they're going to call a timeout. That'll stop the clock with about 1:20 left until halftime. Well, Venango Video is here in addition to 3 of Venango County's radio stations. And for those of you interested in seeing a replay on Venango Video this weekend, and they're using their own announcers, so there are actually 4 groups of announcers up here in the press box at Oil City High School. Be advised, Venango Video's replay will be shown on Oil City's cable system tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and on Franklin's coaxial cable system on Channel 6 Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. Again, in Oil City tomorrow at 10 a.m., in Franklin Sunday at 8 p.m. Later in the game, other scores from around the area. Of course, we'll check all of the scores in all of the sporting activities tomorrow morning at 6:12, 7:12, and 8:12 here on 1450 WFRA. Third down, about 5 yards to go from inside the Oil City 15 for Franklin. With 1:20 left until halftime, the Knights trailing the Oilers by 5. Stevens rolling the pass. Had a rush for a minute. The man after him goes down. Stevens running with it down the right side. Is inside the 10-yard line. And a flag is down on this side of the field where no one is any longer positioned. Number 30 for Oil City, Mike Paprocki, with the rush on the quarterback. He was brought down, but I don't know if the flag has to do with that situation.
Well, I would say again, if Franklin's moving back, it's going to be another motion penalty. And to be honest with you, I don't know where that one was coming from. Rob Graham went in motion out to the right. They're calling illegal motion. I don't know where it's coming from there. And there's been an inordinate amount of motion penalties on both teams in this game. The one for Franklin earlier was all right. This one kind of questionable. But basically what it does now is put Franklin in a passing situation.
Freddie Stevens was very close to a first down on that carry. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 10 from back at the Oil City 20-yard line. Stevens is rolling out. Stevens passing to his left. It's a short pass to Andy Shalott. Shalott picking up just a couple on the play, taking the reception in the flat, gets a couple to the 18-yard line. This would be a 34 or 35-yard field goal attempt for Bundy Fulmer if they go that direction. 38 seconds left until halftime now as Franklin stops the clock, trailing 12-7 with a 4th down and 8 situation staring them in the face, and they'll talk this one over. We'll keep it here.
Well, Tim, I don't think they're going to try a field goal here. It's just a little bit out of Bundy's range. It would be, as you said, about a 38-yarder, 37-yarder, a little bit too far for Bundy, but maybe they are, as I think Bundy's standing out there calling for a shoe. So,
well, Bundy will kick them regularly in practices from the 40 and 45-yard range. He's had only 2 attempts in game situations this year. One was at Greenville on a very wet field on the 3rd weekend of the season. It was about a 26-yarder. It didn't go anywhere. And the other one, courtesy of a bad snap in the game, I believe, up at Iroquois against Strong Vincent, had no chance because it really wasn't handled too well by the holder, Kevin Sanderson, because of the bad snap. Bundy Fulmer will be going for a 36-yard field goal attempt off the hold by Kevin Sanderson. Fulmer, a senior, is left-footed. The kick is up. The kick is just to the left, no good. And Franklin still trails by 5 with 33 seconds left until halftime. Bundy didn't miss by too much.
Well, it just drifted off to the left, had plenty of legs, but once it took off, I saw the referee just moving to his right from underneath the goalpost and knew it was off to the right there. Franklin again coming back, getting the momentum back to their side here. I look for Oil City really not to do anything dumb here. Maybe run one play. They have, in my remaining timeouts left. I don't think they're going to do too much.
Osterman gets the handoff from Kaminsky. Osterman brought down by linebacker Rob Saunders after a gain of just a couple, maybe one. Line of scrimmage was the 21, so we'll mark it at the 22-yard line. The clock is ticking off the last 20 seconds of the first half. Oil City is huddling up, but probably won't do too much with the football. It's a 12-7 Oiler lead as we approach halftime. The Oilers had a chance for actually a 3-touchdown first half. Came up short after a couple of penalties stopped their first attempt. Franklin had a long run, about a 67-yarder by Scooter Bacher, called back on their first play from scrimmage. Now they've missed a field goal. Osterman fighting for first down yardage and coming up just shy on the last play of the first half. We're at the intermission where former Oiler Jim Shaughnessy will be honored this evening at the oil field at Oil City High School. It's a battle for the right to be the number 2 team from the Northwest Football Conference and thus go on to the District 10 playoffs beginning next week. And our score at halftime, Oil City 12, Franklin 7. Back after this on 1450 WFRA. You all.
Nice run by Freddie Stevens after he was flushed out of the pocket. He ran up the middle for about 15 yards. He also had a nice 13-yard pass in there, and then the long halfback option pass for the touchdown.
Okay, and Gary, maybe you want to take your headsets down and get close to the folks at the PA there. There's a little bit, not now. I thought that's the Franklin band coming on. But the Franklin High School band will be performing, and we'll be back with the Jim Shaughnessy ceremonies and the start of the second half in a couple of minutes.
Thank you very much. There's a couple things I'd like to present to Jim before I begin my presentation. One of them I just received today is a proclamation from the city of Oil City proclaiming today as Jim Shaughnessy Day. Everybody knows that Jim Shaughnessy is the finest football player that ever come out of Oil City. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Jim Shaughnessy, the man. I never knew Jim Shaughnessy. We've become good friends over the telephone. We've talked hundreds of times. Jim's a special individual. I never knew him in high school. I've heard these many tales. When he was here at commencement, if you heard him speak, you know that he speaks from the heart, and that's what I'm trying to do here tonight. When Jimmy was in high school, my perceptions of him would be, as my father would say, I'd like to go to war with him, but I'm not sure I want my daughter bringing him home. And there's probably a little truth to that. Jimmy went to Arizona State University. And when he got out there, he reorganized his life a little bit. He became a Christian. He's become an all-around good man. Football has been good to Jim Shaughnessy, and now Jim Shaughnessy is good for all of us. It's a great pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Jim Shaughnessy.
Honored, I'll tell you what, this is unbelievable. My son said he wanted to say something, and now he doesn't. I just want to say to Bob Taylor, a man that I've come to know, likewise, I just echo what he was saying. We did not know each other, but what this man has meant to me, just in the short time that I've known him, for Oil City High, the programs that he worked so hard to establish with the good coaching, the teachers, and the staff here. I've been so blessed by what has gone on here today, and by honoring you, you certainly honor my family. And you know, it's very interesting to come back to Oil City after all these years. I come back for all my reunions, but to see people out of Siverly that I went to elementary school with, to put they come over and put a hat on my head, Jolton Jim, number 68, Kim Berningberg, and people like that have, it's something. If you could be where I am standing tonight and come to Oil City and see people come up and say the things that they do. I think of Clem Urban, who coached me in the backfield, Bill Applequist, that certainly encouraged me to get into sports, Blair Hildebrand, who worked with me, and a combination of men like that saying you can do it. And I just say, God bless you. I love Oil City. I love the people here. You know, you can honor me. I mean, in my wildest dreams, scoring touchdowns, gaining yards, and come back and have someone present you as Jim Shaughnessy Day is far overwhelming in my heart. I don't know that I could ever thank